and we are racing, and it's an absolutely electric start for the 42 of Will Bedford. Massive lunge on the inside by Matt Buff on Alistair Camp. Active on the outside. Oh, oh, the off! Oh. Straight in the gravel trap, both cars out.
Well, welcome back to Silverstone, everybody, where race number 2 for the Milltek Sports Civic Cup is only a few moments away. Drivers starting to trickle into the assembly area now ahead of their second 15-minute race of the day. The first one, if you didn't catch it earlier on, well, you missed a pretty typical Civic Cup race, really. Very close at the front, particularly between championship rivals Dan Thackeray and Max Edmondson. Those two latched together for the whole race, with Thackeray coming out on top, and with that really helping his championship hopes. There's now only a point between those two at the front of the championship, with Alistair Camp, the man who was at the front coming into the weekend, a little way behind now. He had issues in that first race, and we're going to try in a moment or two to catch up with him and find out what went on. But we've got plenty of time, I believe, to have a chat to a few of the drivers. And with this being the reversed grid race, a few new names appearing at the front, and in the case of a pole sitter, a very new name, because it's a welcome debut in the championship for Chris Nyland. And well, no pressure, mate, but you're on the pole position now.
I know, I was just as surprised as you. Yeah, no, first round in the Civic Cup ever. I have done Civics before, but in a different series. So I thought I'll come and give this one a go, and it's highly competitive, should we say. But yeah, I'm on pole position. I really don't know how to explain it. It's like rattling a wasp nest and then poking them all and then running away, really. But just keep it clean and get my head down. I'm sure the fast guys will come through, but I mean, there is a championship fight, so I'm not going to get involved in that. I'll just stay out of the way if they do come. So only fair.
They all say that, and then that race gets underway and the red mist descends a little bit. You must be happy with a top 10 finish in your first race, because it is a competitive championship, this, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did the testing yesterday, and you can instantly see it's a quality field. So yeah, with top 10, that was my aim coming into this weekend, to get a top 10 finish, so just on the outside. So yeah, I'll see how this one goes.
Good stuff. Well done, Chris. We'll let you carry on your pre-race preparations now. Chris has got alongside him on the front row, a man who I know is itching to have a chat with me, Sam Kirkpatrick. Front row, solid result in the earlier race. Happy with your day so far?
Yeah, it was going well in the first race after my rather bad start, but then I went for a slightly over-exuberant move and ended up 9th, but not bad for the reverse grid, so it's all right.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You've got to take the positives out of this, and you do have better pace than 9th place would suggest. So you're the kind of driver, I think, who could really benefit from the reversed grid, and who knows, maybe get on that top step. What do you think?
Well, we'll see if I can get it off the line first. That's been my issue so far, but yeah, if I can get an all right start, we'll see how it goes.
How are you finding the Civic Cup then? Has it lived up to the expectations you had, whatever they were?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's a lot more competitive than I thought it was, which is good because I quite like having the fight. So yeah, it's really nice. I've been enjoying it a lot.
Good stuff. I'll leave you alone now, mate. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Sam Kirkpatrick then starting on the front row of the grid. Now, row number 2, we've got Alex Kite over here. Let's have a chat with Alex, actually, whilst he's out of the car. Alex, welcome back to the pointy end, mate. Third place on the grid, and you were making some good little moves in that first race. Are you getting the confidence back now?
Yeah, we had a bit of a shocker in qualifying, but yeah, stuck our head in, managed to get round it, and yeah, managed to make up a good few places in the first race, so hopefully we can carry it on.
How would you rate your season then so far? Because we've seen flashes of brilliance, I feel like, but it's consistency, isn't it? It's so hard to be consistent on a grid like this.
Yeah, such a tough field as well. It's just all a learning curve. So yeah, we've done the right thing for this year. We've just set up hopes for just sort of like just finishing and getting as many points as we can, but not really expecting it too much. And yeah, try and have a proper go next year, I think. So take this year as a learning curve, and then yeah, try and apply it to next year.
And I'm sure you're going to have a proper go in this race as well, starting third on the grid. You don't get many opportunities, again, in such a competitive class to start this close to the front. So what are the hopes and aspirations for this race? Is a podium doable, do you think?
I'd like to think so, yeah. We've finally managed to show our pace. We didn't manage to get a chance to really show it yesterday. But yeah, it's coming there now, so hopefully we can yeah, try and stick our head in and do as best as we can.
Good stuff. Thanks very much for having a chat. Alex Kite then starting third on the grid, and alongside him on row number 2, we've got young Harvey Caton. Now, Harvey was making friends in that earlier race, particularly with our old TCR champion over there, Lewis Kent. You two were inseparable. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, I started 11th and got a really good start. I think I got 2 on the start, and then straight up to Lewis and Nyland, and quickly got through Nyland, and then me and Lewis were just together the whole race then. It was really fun, and it would have been nice to get 6th, but Lewis got the better of me, so I think he deserves that position.
Some drivers can get a bit frustrated in situations like that because obviously you'd get past Lewis, then he'd get you straight back, and you probably felt like you had the pace to make even better progress than that. But you're obviously a driver who kind of relishes the opportunity to go wheel to wheel.
Yeah, I've learned a lot through keeping my cool in the races. You can't lose it because I know I'm 7th, I need to get up there, but make a stupid move and it'll ruin your whole race, and I need the points, so don't make any stupid decisions, and 7th is 7th, so I'll take it. Puts me 4th, so it's a good start for this race.
Well, exactly, and some people, not me I must say, because I have a tendency to put the curse on people when I say things like this, but some people are saying that you could be a potential race winner here. I keep thinking you've won one of these already because you've been so close on a number of occasions. Do you think this might be one of your best chances for a while?
I'll try not to jinx it, but yeah, hopefully. I mean, I just got to get ahead because all these will surely be coming through after me, and yeah, just get some clear air and get a gone, hopefully.
Good stuff. We'll leave it to it, Harvey. Thank you for having a chat. 4th place on the grid then for Harvey Caton. And, well, let's have a chat, shall we, with the man with whom Harvey was dicing for so much of that earlier race, Lewis Kent. Welcome to the Civic Cup. What brings you here?
Just a little bit of fun, really. Had a moment at Donington where we sort of had a discussion about racing. And, yeah, came and spoke to Rob Baker, sorted a deal out, and we're here. So having a bit of fun, seeing what it's like.
And getting stuck straight in as well. You were involved in one of the better battles in that earlier race. Has it lived up to the expectations, Civic Cup?
Yeah, it's I see it as sort of a mini TCR touring cars. Yeah, it was good fun. Had a really good battle with Harvey, so yeah, I can't really ask for more. Feel like I should have got past Dave and tried to push away a bit, but yeah, start of the race I was being a bit of an idiot and messing up the last corner. So hopefully gone through the data now, sorted that all out, and this race try and push through, get my way to the front and just push out and run away with it.
Race win would be nice. Of course, you've got some quick guys behind, including the championship contenders. I want to get your thoughts on this, actually, because you've been in their shoes quite often, where you get to the end of the year, there's a championship on the line, it's really close, and then, we often get at the end of the year guest drivers coming in who are quick and inevitably play a part in that. It's a difficult position you're in because you want good results for yourself, but do you race them differently because they're fighting for a championship?
Yeah, I've actually experienced it before when James won the championship, Turks.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Yeah, Adam came in and sort of played a part in his sort of game to win the championship in 2019 from us. I think we finished second by like 6 points in the end. So yeah, I know what it's like to bring an outsider or a ringer in, but no, I'm not here to help anyone really. If it comes down to it, and I see a teammate in the window and it's like 1 point between it, then you never know, I might just move over and go, yeah, go for it, you deserve it. But no, all of the guys who are at the front really deserve the championship. I've always believed in best man wins, so I'm here to race hard, so I'm not going to give anyone the extra little bit of room. I'm just going to drive how I always do.
That's what I was hoping to hear. Good luck, Lewis, for the race starting from 5th on the grid. He's got Dave Marshall for company on that row. And then just behind, we've got Dave Bookie. Dave, solid race for you there. So nearly a podium. You almost got him off the last corner. Did you think maybe you were going to get there first?
Yeah, I didn't see the last lap board, to be fair. I don't think it even came out. I was talking to Will after the race and he said that it didn't come out. So, yeah, it was pretty close, wasn't it? What was it, 0.045 over the line? So, yeah, it was a good little race.
And exactly what Civic Cup is all about. You know this championship inside out. You've been here for a while. You're a good person to get your thoughts on then, actually, about the state of the championship now. It's so competitive. Everyone's been saying it's harder to win in this championship now than ever before. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I came into this race meeting this weekend thinking that if I can get in the top 10, then that's good. I knew that we were quite quick in testing yesterday. But when I found out I was 4th over the line in qualifying, I was quite pleasantly surprised. So yeah, I've always been around that kind of pace, but I'd say that the championship has took a step forwards. You've got the likes of Will, Caton coming into it, young lads that have done the karting. They're using it as a stepping stone into higher level motorsport, and it shows in the racing, doesn't it, how close it is.
It certainly does. This one's going to be close for you as well. Again, you've got some overtaking to do now, but we know you're not bashful about going for a gap. So what do you think is realistically doable in this one?
The reverse 10's always hard because you've always got the fast lads behind, but I mean, it was pretty nose to tail in that race, I'd say. We were kind of like in a bit of a defensive train, if you will. Defending from first, and then Redford was defending from me. So I don't know. It's close, isn't it? Anyone can win. So we'll see what happens after turn 1.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Dave, then. So Dave Buchan's going to be starting on the 4th row of the grid alongside Will Redford because we now get into our podium finishers from that earlier race, including our top 2. And these are now our top 2 in the championship. Max Edmondson over there was second in the earlier race. Dan Thackeray to my right was the race winner. And that means that they are now only 1 point apart in the championship race. It's so close with now just 4 races remaining in the championship. Now, if you tuned in at the start of the day, you'll remember we were talking about 3 drivers being under a blanket in the points. The third of those drivers, Alistair Camp, had a bit of a nightmare in the earlier race. If I could just squeeze in, guys, and have a chat with our former champion. And, well, Alistair, you could still be champion in 2023, but your hopes took a bit of a knock in that first race. What exactly happened?
We had a brake disc crack and we had a problem with the suspension in qualifying, so we concentrated on everything on that. Because it's been such a short turnaround, we didn't we had put new pads on, so it's happened in quali basically, the crack has, and it was too big to risk. So Chris just said, look, apologise at the end of the day. It's one of them things. It's not, you can't blame anyone. It happens, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's obviously not the scenario I want to be in, but it is what it is, mate. We deal with what comes at us. That's the way racing is. And I just said to the lads, let's not risk it. Let's get in the pits, change it, and that's what we did. And yeah, came from there, and we are where we are. So let's go and have some fun again, eh?
Absolutely, believe you to it, because as you can probably hear, engines starting to fire and cars about to head out onto the circuit then ahead of race number 2 of the weekend in the Milltek Sports Civic Cup. The championship balanced on a knife edge, the top 3 in the points starting mid-grid. What could possibly go wrong? This is going to be another fantastic 15 minutes of action, I'm sure. I'm going to head over to the commentary box to join Phil Kinch to talk you through the race.
He's all the way around the outside. Miles for the lead. Side by side, who's going to be the bigger man?
For voice and data solutions at speeds that are simply out of this world, choose Maximum Networks.
Do you wonder why your competitors' websites appear in Google searches ahead of you? Then make a call to the SEO experts Warrior and understand how your business can be more visible online. As the official marketing partner of TCR UK, you can now work with a trusted search engine optimization partner to increase web traffic, inquiries and sales. Speak to us for your free audit and quote by visiting warrior.co.uk today.
Here we go then, the second of 3 races today from Silverstone in the Milltek Sports Civic Cup. And after an absolute thriller earlier on today, the reversed grid race ought to be even more exciting. We put the quick drivers in the middle of the pack, we put some drivers at the front who don't always get the opportunity to get the spotlight shot on them. And we guarantee 15 minutes of drama and excitement around the Silverstone National Circuit. The weather forecast continues to say that there's some light rain in the future, but it actually feels like it's getting warmer outside. Maybe I just think that because I've spent the majority of the day running around the Silverstone paddock, but it does feel like a pretty pleasant day. I'm hopeful that we'll avoid any bad weather as we move further into the day. Green flag lap underway then for our second Civic race of the day, and as we've said, top 10 grid reversals. We take the top 10 finishers from race 1, invert them and put Chris Nyland on pole position with Sam Kirkpatrick alongside him. Alex Kite and Harvey Caton will share row 2 ahead of Lewis Kent and Dave Marshall on the 3rd row. Row 4 then for Dave Buki ahead of the 3 podium finishers from race 1. Will Redford 8th, Max Edmondson 9th and Dan Thackeray in 10th position with Alistair Camp in 11th. And now about 19 points, I should say, off the championship lead. He has got Tommy Knight for company on that 6th row, ahead of Sam Nicolau and Ryan Bensley. Brilliant effort made by the team to get that car out there, and it's back out, we think, for race number 2. Owen Hillman comes next, alongside Louis Hounsell on row 8, and the 9th row of the grid then for Jack Riddell and Ryan Jenkinson. Anthony Gannon, the Diamond Trophy winner from race 1, will start 19th, ahead of Jackson White. Then it's Simon Welch and Nick Charlier, with Travis Chapman, Jordan Brennan and Mark Hughes bringing up the rear on what we hope will be a 25-car grid. So the tension starting to mount now. The championship situation as we have it is that Dan Thackeray is now 1 point ahead of Max Edmondson. 344 points after the drop scores are calculated for Thackeray, 343 for Edmondson and 325 for Alistair Camp. Phil Kint once again joins me in the commentary box, and Phil, you just gave me a fantastic stat about the day. This championship lead we expected to maybe change at some point over the course of the day, and it's done just that.
It has, yeah. So before we started qualifying, where the top 6 score points for championship points to their scores, it's a case of we had Alistair Camp as a championship leader. After qualifying, Max Edmondson became the championship leader due to out qualifying Camp, and now we've had our second change in the championship lead in the space of, so what, 4 hours I think so far. So yeah, it's just going to show how tight things are, and especially now when you throw in a reverse grid race. People ask me, you know, what's the Civic Cup race like? I just nickname it a 15-minute thriller. Yes. And I think that's what we're going to have on our hands. Absolutely, yeah. The top 3 in the championship have all had the championship lead at some point today, and we've only done 1 of the 3 races. So, cars gridding up then. The blue car on pole, that's Chris Nyland, and then the silver and black area motorsport machine of Sam Kirkpatrick starting second. Harvey Caton look a long way back from where he could be, and actually the same sort of true of Lewis Kent just behind him, 4th and 5th on the grid. But they'll be hoping that that doesn't hold them back too much, as our second race of the weekend is about to get underway. It's the 14th round of the Milltek Sports Civic Cup. 15 minutes on the clock. What is going to happen? What further twists in the championship story do we have? Let's find out. Action, off towards Copse Corner they go. And who is going to win the charge into that quick right-hander? Chris Nyland, remember, had that outside line from pole position, and he sweeps across in front of Alex Kite, who is up into 2nd position, and Kirkpatrick down to 3rd. So not a great start for Sam. He said that he struggled with that in the opening race as well. Keep an eye to Edmondson, Camp and Thackeray, all stuck in the middle where things can so easily go wrong on the opening lap. Edmondson looks as though he's making good early progress though. Look round the outside of Dave Marshall, he's sideways on cold tyres, and Edmondson's on the grass. No, why did I say that? Just as he was making good progress, he plummets back out of the top 10 and has it all to do. There's been a collision further back, I think. Might have been Mark Hughes involved in that. We'll try and find out in a moment. The leaders, though, Phil, head down towards Brooklands for the first time. And as we know, cold tyres, cold brakes, they've done everything possible to keep them as warm as they can, and this already adds to the excitement of the first race, as we can see Harvey Caton going on the inside of Sam Kirkpatrick into Luffield and taking 3rd place. Is he? Sam sticking with him on the outside, but I think Harvey's just about got ahead and claimed that, as we can see some more places being gained. Ryan Bensley in there, but there is Mark Hughes, as we thought. It looks like there's been an incident at the back of the field on the opening lap with him. Yeah, that's up at Beckett. He's off the track though, so hopefully no need for a safety car. Through Copse Corner we go then. Nyland leads the opening lap. So far so good.
Alex Kite second, Harvey Caton third-ish, with Sam Kirkpatrick and Lewis Kemp behind. That's Edmondson again, taking a very wide line through Copse Corner as they now head towards a yellow flag zone. Well, if you're already side by side going into it, there's not a lot you can do. Lewis Kemp bails out of his attempted move there on Kirkpatrick, and they all settle in single file. Now, what of the title contenders? We've documented Edmondson's struggles. He crossed the line 14th, Camp still 11th, Thackeray 9th. So none of them making a lot of progress. In fact, Edmondson going backwards rather, Phil. But they are at least still pretty close together. There goes Kite up the inside line meanwhile, and he will take the race lead.
Indeed, and Alex was well in the mix at Cadwell last time out for the race lead. He was quite involved with that, so he's obviously making progress forward as Harvey Caton now goes through the inside of Chris Nyland through Luffield Corner, and he moves up to second place. Now, remember that Harvey chased Dan Thackeray at Croft in race 2 and managed to get himself a podium position, so Harvey seemed quite buoyant. Hopefully you haven't cursed him, as you were saying as you spoke to him. So, yeah, he's definitely going. There seems to be a Pro Alloys going slow in the background as well.
Yeah, not sure. Oh, was that Camp? Was that Camp? He's dropped down to 16th place at the end of that lap. He lost 5 positions. Where is Alistair Camp? Has he got another problem? That would be heartbreaking if he does. Sideways on the cement dust there for the race leader. I do not see Alistair Camp anywhere in that picture. Now, he could afford one bad result, Phil. His drop scores allowed for that. But a second bad result, maybe even a non-finish, that could be disastrous.
Indeed, and it looks as though we've got the safety car out. Yeah, the safety car is out, so that'll neutralise the race and bring everyone back together. And it looks as though they're going to have some time, which I would have thought this is to get Mark Hughes out and get him off the circuit. So yeah, this will calm things down. But as we know with the Civic Cup, as soon as you introduce a safety car period and they get a shortened race, as it is at 15 minutes, so fireworks even more once we clear all this up.
Well, what this does is restrict the opportunity, really, for the likes of Thackeray and Edmondson and Camp, if he's still going, to gain ground. They needed as many green flag racing laps as possible, and they're not going to have as many now. So good news if you're Alex Kite, because it's a few laps less to defend from a fired-up Harvey Caton. But yeah, this is not ideal, really, for our championship contenders, who stream across the line now behind the safety car. So Thackeray up to 8th. We've got Edmondson down in 12th, actually. So Edmondson has gained a couple of places on that lap. He was 14th, I think, at the start of it. And Alistair Camp, I don't think, has yet made it round. So I don't know where Campy is, whether he's stopped out on track or he's just going slowly. But quite clearly, problems persisting.
Yeah, it seems like whatever's happened on this opening lap, hopefully hasn't been played again, but another difficult one. Although it looks as though, well, we've got the safety car there, and yet everyone's going past.
I think that's just a course car. I think the safety car is actually
medical
further.
response unit.
Yeah,
right, okay, so that's fair enough.
So that's, yeah, they're doing the right thing, really.
Yeah.
There is Mark Hughes' car off to the right. Jordan Brennan didn't make it through. There is Camp. There is Alistair Camp. He is out of the car. He is out of the race. And this will, therefore, as I've said, become a dropped score. But it's his first retirement of the season, at least, Phil. Neither of us are good enough at mathematics to work this out on the fly, I'm afraid. But oh, and that's
that looks like Jackson White. Yes.
Yeah, it is. Where is that? I'm not so sure. Exeter Beckett's possibly. But yeah, back to Alistair Camp. A non-finish, not a complete disaster, but we saw the chunk of points that he lost in race 1. There's every chance now that he's going to be perhaps twice as far back after this race. We said that this weekend could make or break people's championships, and, well, it certainly seems to be breaking Alistair Camp's.
Indeed, and although we know Alistair is a hard charger, and he knows, from previous championship winning performances, he knows how to claw this back, so still wouldn't count him out despite the fact of. But as we see, we've got Dan Thackeray now with currently a 7-point lead ahead of Max Edmondson, put my teeth in gear, with Alistair Camp staying on 3:43. Harvey Caton now, though, with his current position, moves into the top 6, so he's definitely making hay whilst he's inside the top 3. Currently second place on the track, so he could be one to give Alex Kite a run for their money. And both drivers, along with Sam Kirkpatrick, don't have a race win to their name yet this year.
Indeed not. There you have the graphic on the right-hand side of the screen that shows us the championship standings as it stands, and it's my understanding, Phil, that should also incorporate the drop scores.
It does, yes,
so,
it does.
Alistair Camp actually not as far back as I thought he'd be, and this is mainly because Thackeray and Edmondson are so far back. This might now also be affecting their drop scores, so that will change if and when they start to make further progress.
That's it. As soon as they move forward, then again, the numbers ebb and flow, and obviously we'll keep track of that as we go.
Yes, so nervy stuff. We're not even at the championship decider yet, and and already starting to feel the pressure. We have 8 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, and well, 2 cars we think that need recovering perhaps from the Beckett's area. Camp, I believe, has pulled off at Copse Corner. He's well out of the way, but the 2 involved in that lap 1 skirmish up at Beckett's are going to need a little bit more attention. So Alex Kite, the leader, Harvey Caton second, Sam Kirkpatrick in third, ahead of Chris Nyland and Dave Marshall. Dave Marshall having a really good race. In fact, he's making some good progress, isn't he? He's made a bit more progress than some of the others who started around him. So Dave Marshall for a podium is a possibility. Will Redford then in 6th, Lewis Kent 7th, Dan Thackeray 8th, Dave Bookie in 9th, and Ryan Bensley is in the top 10. If you'd have told me after qualifying we'd be talking about Ryan Bensley inside the top 10 today, I'd have laughed in your face.
To be honest, I am very impressed. As we were led to believe after qualifying, he wasn't going to be out and the car wasn't raceable, but the team, as we said earlier in race 1, done a fantastic job to get the car ready and back to normal and as raceable as possible, and to be able to get a top 10 for Ryan is just even more impressive. So he'll claw back some points, but again, it's a bit of an uphill struggle for him championship wise, but he's a previous race winner. He knows how to get that and get that done.
Now, I know this is a Milltek Sport Civic Cup race, but if you'll just indulge me drifting away to another championship for a moment or two, you'll notice that the safety car this weekend is not the usual Jaguar, I think, that we tend to have at the RSCC race meetings. It is actually a Ford Fiesta. That is an actual Fiesta Junior Championship car, one of the newer Mark 7 cars, and there is some relevance to this story, Phil, isn't there? Because we're going to see more of those cars next year on the same events as things like the Civic Cup and TCR UK.
We are, yes. So the TCR UK 2024 calendar has been confirmed, as well as a support package, and Fiesta Juniors is part of that support package next year, along with the Fiesta ST240s, slightly more powerful versions of those cars, Milltek Sport Civic Cup and the Audi TT. So it gives you everyone a chance to have a full-on racing package with all of the events that we go to next year, to see them in action, follow them all the way. So every time, if you're going to follow them to all the events possible, then you know what's happening, all of those in action at the same tracks and dates and everything. So if you want to find out the dates for the 2024 calendar, if you haven't seen it already, then you can find that on the TCR UK website. There is a calendars tab on the front page. If you click on that and it drops down, shows you this year's calendar and next year's calendar if you want to plan to go to any of the events. And as Andy said, seeing the Fiesta Junior there today, they will be in action along with everything else. Also, one of the official feeder series for TCR UK, along with the Milltek Sport Civic Cup. So it's an idea of giving the youngsters a chance to go racing, learning their trade in car racing, and then allowing them to progress up the order so that eventually they move into TCR UK itself. But as we're saying, we've got Milltek Sport Civic Cup here today, and as they've proven already, even though we're behind the safety car at the moment, the racing has been just as thrilling. And it looks like the lights are out on the safety cars. I think we're about to go racing again.
Absolutely. So with 5.5 minutes to go, probably about 5 minutes by the time they actually get to the line, we are going to get the race back underway. Alex Kite takes one big deep breath. It might be the last one that he takes for another 5 minutes or so, because Harvey Caton is going to be itching to find a way through. Harvey, the nearly man of Civic Cup over the last year or so, he's been so close to winning races on a number of occasions. For whatever reason, it's not quite panned out in his favour, and he knows that this is a real opportunity to try and get that first victory. Through Luffield they will come. Kite now steps on the loud pedal and gets the race back underway, but remember, no overtaking until they cross the timing line. Harvey Caton looks to have gone right with him though, so I don't think Kite has built up a massive margin. No, he certainly hasn't. In fact, Caton's going to have a little go, I think, as they head towards Copse Corner. He's right in behind the race leader, virtually pushing him down towards turn number 1, and he goes to the inside line. Harvey Caton for the race lead. Kite tried to hang on around the outside. Caton is sideways on cold tyres, and watch for Kirkpatrick. Sam Kirkpatrick has a mega run on the pair of them as they head down towards Beckett's Corner. Who's got the race lead?
Caton, I think, as well.
Oh, it's Kite. Kite hangs on. Kirkpatrick second, Caton third. Harvey had a go, but it did not work out.
No, and fair play to him to getting a better start and sticking with Kite as he went into Copse Corner. However, it's not worked out, and often you lose momentum if you're caught on the wrong line. So Sam Kirkpatrick in second place now, with Alex Kite remaining in the lead, and Kirkpatrick's going for the lead, and he's taken the lead. That's under braking. That's an impressive start for the restart, whilst Kite gets a bit of oversteer going into Brooklands. Now the three of them are together going into Luffield, and Harvey Caton going wide, Thackeray going wide as well. So I don't know if this is a way of, are they warming the tyres back up or just trying to get a clearer line for a run through to Woodcote, or maybe?
I suspect that's probably what's going on there for Thackeray. I'm not convinced it really worked for him though. So Sam Kirkpatrick goes from third to first on the restart lap, and take 2 for Harvey Caton. He's back up the inside of Alex Kite into Copse Corner, and this time I think we'll make the move stick, but it is only for second place. Sam Nicolau has set the fastest lap of the race because everyone else is tripping over each other in front of him. They barrel down towards Beckett's then for the 8th time of asking. We've got 3.5 minutes or so to go. Kirkpatrick leads the way. Caton second, third is Kite, but here comes Nyland up the inside. Dave Marshall round the outside. Marshall, winner of a race, remember, at Cadwell Park earlier on in the season, and he is now knocking on the door of a podium again.
And indeed, and whilst we're talking about championship leaders, we got Dan Thackeray in the mix, fighting along with Lewis Kent and Will Redford, trying to make his way up. Dave Marshall definitely in the mix. Oh, in fact, Thackeray's going through the middle of Nyland, Kent, and looking for Redford as well. That's very, very close, and well, if he should be taking risks at this late stage of the championship, that's really worrying.
Well, that was the move of a champion for me, because I think he knows he's got to try and make progress. Edmondson is struggling. He's being warned about track limits, Max Edmondson, as well, so he's got to be careful. And Thackeray knows he's got the pace this weekend. He saw a chance to go through and did not back down. So he crosses the line now in 6th position. Edmondson, though, sets the fastest lap of the race. That's worth a bonus point in the championship as well.
Indeed.
But look, he is stuck behind a whole queue of cars. Nyland, Buki, Kent, Bensley, and then comes Max Edmondson. Some very interesting interpretations of track limits behind, but Max Edmondson needs to try and make some progress. Meanwhile, Harvey Caton was up the inside of Sam Kirkpatrick there for the race lead as they went towards Beckett's corner. Phil, you don't know where to look.
It's all over the place, isn't it? Bensley holding off Buki and Edmondson, with Lewis Kent involved in the fight. Up front, it looked as though Caton was making a move for the lead.
I think Sam held on, though, just about.
Right, and Buki, yeah, he did indeed. So, yep, Sam's holding on whilst Harvey looks for his first victory where possible. And we're under 2 minutes of this race left, so already we're back into the thriller as Dave Marshall is also attacking Alex Kite. So yeah, as you say, you can't look anywhere as Caton goes the inside. Can he hold that? Because he tried this before with Kirkpatrick.
This is close. Kirkpatrick drifted a bit wide. Caton saw the gap. He's got fully alongside, and he will have the inside line for Copse Corner. So Harvey Caton, who is trying once again to reclaim the lead. Marshall's going for third on Kite as well. 2 by 2, they run past the pit lane, and Thackeray is catching the lot of them in 5th place. We've got time for 2 more laps, and Dan Thackeray could yet get onto the podium. Caton goes to the lead, drifts a bit wide though, out of Copse Corner. Kirkpatrick gets back up the inside, I think, as they head down towards Beckett's Corner, who is going to be the last of the late breakers. Kirkpatrick, I think, will go back through, and here comes Dave Marshall, all out of control. Just about gets the car stopped, but it's Kirkpatrick to the front once more.
Indeed, and they were side by side for almost half a lap as well, so fantastic racing for both Caton and Kirkpatrick. And Marshall's got himself into a podium position, despite the fact that Kite and Thackeray are within closing distance. In fact, this is all opening up nicely for Thackeray as he goes on the inside of Kite into Brooklands. One hopefully won't catch the back of Marshall. You're just hoping as they hit the brakes that they're not going to make contact, because as a title contender he needs that even more, as Marshall now looks at the inside of Caton. He's pushing hard.
Yeah, Caton made the same mistake then that Kirkpatrick did a lap ago, then gets a wheel in the dirt. Kirkpatrick, I think, is going to escape now. We're about to start the final lap of the race, and Dave Marshall's maybe in a position to attack for second. Well, in the end, not quite. That's Edmondson, by the way, at the head of the second group. So Edmondson up to 6th position with the fastest lap. Good recovery drive this has been from Max as we start the final lap of the race. Lewis Kent there battling with Buki and Bensley and everybody else at the back end of the top 10. But what is happening out in front? Sam Kirkpatrick has not escaped. Harvey Caton is trying to get to the inside at Beckett. He was just a touch too far back, though, to fully commit to the manoeuvre. And actually, Kirkpatrick gets the better exit from the turn. Thackeray out wide over the exit curb as he tries to maybe sneak onto the podium. But I think even if it ends up being 4th place for Thackeray, that's been a really masterful drive from the championship leader. Down towards Beckett we go then, to Brooklyn, sorry, for the final time. Snatching of brakes there for Marshall. I think Kirkpatrick might just have done enough here, though, to hang on to the race victory. As long as he doesn't run wide at Luffield, which he doesn't, he should be able to get the power down, accelerate to the line, get up through the gears, and claim the checkered flag. A brilliant performance that from Sam Kirkpatrick, who was knocked down to 3rd at one point, but he will come across the line victorious in the second race of the day here at Silverstone. Kirkpatrick the winner, Caton second, Marshall back on the podium in 3rd, with Dan Thackeray in 4th position. position, the best of the championship contenders. Alex Kite comes home in 5th ahead of Max Edmondson, who gets the bonus for the fastest lap, with Chris Nyland, Lewis Kent, Ryan Bensley and Dave Buki completing the top 10. There, on the right-hand side of your screen, by the way, you can see those updated points, and because Thackeray and Edmondson made such good progress, they are now a decent distance ahead of Alistair Camp. What's that, 28 points, I think now Camp is, off the championship lead, a lead held by Dan Thackeray just ever so slightly. I think 6 points that was over Max Edmondson. Well, fantastic stuff then. Our second race of the day, won by Sam Kirkpatrick with Harvey Caton in 2nd place. Dave Marshall gets another podium. That'll be a popular result for the FN2 driver, with Dan Thackeray in 4th and Alex Kite completing the top 5. Max Edmondson was 6th then, ahead of Chris Nyland, Lewis Kent, Ryan Bensley and Dave Buki, with Louis Hounsell a solid 11th place ahead of Sam Nicolau and Tommy Knight and Jack Riddell in 14th place. 15th was Ryan Jenkinson ahead of Travis Chapman, 16th, Anthony Gannon 17th, then it was Nick Charlier and Will Redford, with Simon Welch the last car to finish the race. Owen Hillman was a retiree, so too, I'm afraid, Alistair Camp, and that has major championship ramifications. Right then, Phil, I will make the short journey over to the podium area, have a chat with our top 3 finishers, and leave you to reflect on another spectacular race.
Will do. Thank you, Andy. And as Andy makes his way over to speak to the top 3 and the podium finishes from race 2. As it's shown, just, you know, with a safety car intervention, it's amazing how much that can change the complexion of a race. As Sam Kirkpatrick comes out with a big smile to take his first ever win in the Milltek Sport Civic Cup. And yeah, he'll be very, very happy. Sam, one of the drivers we've got here today, looking to see if he can join us for 2024 in a full-time capacity next year. Harvey Caton there, who's taken his 2nd podium of the year, took his 1st podium at Croft, as we said earlier during the race. So again, you know, really pushed hard and shown once again that he is capable of that, as Andy races into the pit lane. And we've also got the other podium finishes there. Dave Marshall taking a podium, which he'll be really happy about, especially after taking his 1st win in the FN2 at Cadwell last time out. So yes, we'll allow Andy to get organised, and then we'll hop down to the pit lane and he'll start speaking to the drivers.
Well, a fantastic second race of the weekend, as we anticipated it would be. Proper reverse grid racing. Shame about the safety car in the middle there, but when we did get going, it was proper Civic Cup action, and a race that was won by Sam Kirkpatrick. Sam, you weren't keen on talking to me before the race. You've no choice now, I'm afraid, because you're a race winner. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't mind talking to you this time. That's all right.
What a race. I mean, it may well just be a bit of a blur to you. It is to me, to be perfectly honest, and I wasn't in that lead battle myself, but so close out there. And at one point you were knocked down to 3rd place, I think, and then fought your way back.
Yeah, well, I didn't get a great start again, but it wasn't too bad, so I was still in 3rd. And then, yeah, sort of after the restart, I got an all-right restart, and Harvey went for a move for 1st, and they both sort of ran a bit wide, and I just snuck up the inside, and then, yeah, it was really close. Harvey's extremely good on the brakes. Every corner he was all over me, so yeah, it was really good.
It really tests your racecraft, doesn't it, a race like that? And that situation you just described down at Copse Corner, you read that situation perfectly. You realised what was going to happen, you held back, you got the run, and especially around a track like this, that's what really makes the difference.
Yeah, it was, I took a sort of, I had to wait for the right opportunity, and then, yeah, because it's not that easy to overtake around here. So yeah, I had to try all my defensive moves there at the end as well.
Well, exactly. Talk us through that then, because you had to get your elbows out at the end to keep him behind. And were you helped maybe a bit by the fact that he had some company behind him as well?
Yeah, for the last few laps he had something behind him, so I sort of knew he couldn't quite go full into it. But yeah, when he passed me at Copse, I sort of had to line him up and get him back into the next part. So yeah, it was really close. Really enjoyed it.
Excellent stuff, Sam. Huge well done. Congratulations on the race victory then. Now, 2nd place in that one was Harvey Caton. I have lost Harvey Caton. There's Harvey. Go on, come over and have a chat with us, Harvey. Well done. 2nd place, again, not quite the win, but that was a hell of a race, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was really good. I'm a bit annoyed at myself. As much as this is really good and I'm really pleased with myself, it's a bit annoying because I messed up. I nearly had Alex on the restart. Obviously, I don't know if you saw, I got up on the inside in the 1st corner and the rear just let go, which was a bit annoying. That's how Sam got by. But, I mean, it was a really good race and I'm really happy with 2nd, so yeah.
That moment, and Sam just described it for us as well, it really proves why it's tricky to overtake round here, because you had the inside, and at most circuits that's a done deal, but you've got to get off the corners well here, and that little slide just prevented you from doing that.
Yeah, I mean, turn one you can have the inside, but it's not a done deal because they can undercut you and they get better run, and then all the other corners are a lot slower, so it's really difficult around this track. It's a wide track, but it's not as easy to overtake on. So.
You must be satisfied with your pace, though. Obviously, strong pace in the first race, and then in that one, staying in that lead group. You were probably the quickest, actually, in that lead group at certain points during the race. So that should give you something to smile about, and surely that win must be just round the corner.
Yeah, I mean, second again, like Croft, it's pretty much a replay of that race. But, yeah, it's getting there. Just got to improve on every little bit. I mean, this championship's really finite. Everyone's so close, and, yeah, you just got to be very good to win, so...
Well, we think you are very good, and second place certainly proves that. Well done, Harvey, on that second place finish. Now, Dave Marshall is our third place finisher. Let's get you over near your car, shall we, Dave, and have a little chat. Back on the podium again. You're making a bit of a habit of this now.
It's starting to get quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, a few setups tweaks from this morning. We struggled, especially in the last complexes, with quite a lot of understeer. So a few changes with that, a few slightly fresher sets of rubber on the front, and lo and behold, we're actually fairly competitive, I would have said.
Is there any further development that you think needs doing to the car now, or would you say that it's now just minor setup tweaks and getting the best out of yourself?
No, I would say it's set up in a bit in the driver. The one thing I think we do need to look at is maybe a bias valve. We're currently still running standard, just with the ABS disabled. So the balance front to back, especially once the fronts start to wear out, makes the back very lively. So race one, we were struggling massively. Pads went down to nearly the metal on the back. So we're really burned up the back. So I think a bias valve, bit more pressure on the front. I think we'll be fighting up front.
You like it a bit sideways, though. I know you. You don't mind a bit of a loose car on corner entry, do you?
No, we've had to change the setup a little bit from Cadwell, fair to say. Just trying to get a bit more straight line performance. But yeah, I mean, credit to the lads, K Car Sales, Ryan, my top mechanic, like phenomenal job this weekend, and just shows 136,000 miles on the clock, standard engine, it can still get on the front.
Absolutely fantastic stuff there. Dave Marshall, our third place finisher. Now, Anthony Gannon was the Goodyear Diamond Trophy winner. I'm not sure if Anthony is here. I think he might be. There we go. Let's have a chat with you, Anthony, on the live stream as our second winner of the day. 2 wins, I should say, for you in the class today. Yes. Congratulations on that. We spoke to you on the social media earlier on, but tell the viewers at home your story, because I think it's a fantastic one.
Okay, the story. Fundamentally, as a family, me, my wife and my 3 children have been following the Civic Cup pretty much from the start. So we're talking like 8-9 years. Within that 8 or 9 years, I think we've missed literally a couple of rounds. Throughout those 8 or 9 years, you end up getting that drive to be enthused to want to drive a car yourself. Obviously, you always sometimes think in your head, it's always a pipe dream. One thing I will say is, like I say, I'm nearly 50 years old. Got into a position where I thought, right, okay, let's try and save up and try and go racing. Talk to my wife, talk to my children, and let's go. And that's exactly what happened. Another story that I didn't tell you earlier, Andy, about the car. In 2018, I was here with the MSA doing an open day, and my actual car was a display car showing off the works of SW Motorsport. So it was a park car. So it was the wings off, doors off, and I said one day I'd like to own that car. That car is now my race car.
Really?
Yeah, it came about and we bought it. Me and my wife, it was like the clouds and the stars all aligned. Bought the car, and here we are now. And now, weirdly, strangely, winning trophies.
Yes.
So,
and having fun as well, I'm sure.
Do you know something? The fun doesn't come alive until I finish the finish line and you hear me cheer. I see my family, and it all comes to you. While you're in the car, there's a moment where your mind goes somewhere else and you have to be a racing driver. It's that fact. But dreams do come true, that's what I'd say.
That's fantastic. Thanks very much for having a chat with us, Anthony, our Goodyear Diamond Trophy winner. Right then, that's our second race of the weekend done. But remember, it's a triple header in the Milltek Sports Civic Cup this weekend. So they've still got one more race to come a little bit later on in the day, where once again, we're going to have our championship contenders all lining up towards the sharp end. And we now have just the 3 races to go in the season. It is coming towards boiling point. You won't want to miss that final race. So be sure to tune in later for the final 15 minutes of action here from Silverstone.
we are racing, and it's an absolutely electric start for the 42 of Will Bedford. Massive lunge up the inside by Matt Bum on Alistair Camp. Active on the outside. Oh! Dropped on! Oh! Deep off! Straight in the gravel trap. Both cars out.